Welcome. It's indisputable. I'm your host, Rashad Ritchie. Good to be with you. We have a lot on the agenda today. Breaking down news of the day, none other than Mr. Elliott Morgan. Always fascinating to have his analysis on the show. Top story of the hell of a thing. Pam Bondi goes full Karen at a House Judiciary hearing. Here it is.
To be clear, I'm not going to ask any questions of this witness because this witness has revealed that she has no intentions of answering questions. But instead, I'm going to ask some very basic questions really quickly of my colleague, Becca Ballant, if she will answer right or wrong, raping children.
Wrong.
Right or wrong, killing random citizens.
Definitely wrong.
Right or wrong, enriching yourself as the sitting president of the United States.
Definitely wrong.
Okay, thank you, because I probably never would have got that with our witness. Our witness who somehow is a lawyer but does not understand how it works with witnesses. I'm not really sure what law school she went to and what all kind of cases she tried, but typically when you come into a space and somebody's a witness, then they sit there and they answer questions instead of asking questions. And then we also have this objection that we use as lawyers called non-responsive when a witness fails to actually answer the question. But nevertheless, let me address the survivors because that's exactly who they are. They are not victims, they are survivors. Let me say thank you for having more courage and moral clarity in your pinky fingers than the entire Department of Justice. We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world. But we don't know the basics of right and wrong in this country because it's not about partisanship. And that's why I applaud Thomas Massie, because he's the only person on the Republican side that has a backbone and knows how to stand up to corruption.
Yeah, it actually continues. Now, you will see that Crockett's strategy is much more effective than going back and forth with Pam Bondi. But we do have the back and forth with Pam Bondi as well. However, prior to that back and forth, here's what else Crockett said.
Written testimony of this witness, of this particular witness, she stated that when she took office, she had two main goals. The first was to end the weaponization of justice, and second, to return the department to its core mission. Not only have you lied about both, you've intentionally done the exact opposite. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps. In fact, your boss, the President of the United States, stated that this administration, quote, took the freedom of speech away. And at your direction, DOJ has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Fort. And I might add that y'all actually had a judge that rejected y'all for trying to arrest Don Lemon before, just like the grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Kelly, just like a grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Slotkin, just like the case against Tish James was dismissed and the case against Mr. Comey was dismissed. I completely don't get how it is that you're sitting at the top of DOJ because you don't seem to be good at your job.
At all. Remember, there was a time when a defense attorney would say to the average person who has been charged by the Department of Justice, they have a 99% win ratio. Well, not anymore. That win ratio is, well, in the toilet. There's also evidence. Here it is.
Circle back to you protecting pedophiles and creeps, because I want to talk about the president and his possible involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know what the president might have done with Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike this administration, I believe that facts matter. So let's talk about the facts. Fact number one, Donald Trump is one of the most named people in the Epstein files. At least 5,000 files contains more than 38,000 references to Trump, his wife, or Mar-a-Lago. Fact number two, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell made young girls available to Trump on multiple occasions. For example, according to this file, Ghislaine Maxwell presented a young girl to President Trump who spent more than 20 minutes apparently flirting with her. Here's another example. This shows notes from FBI investigators that describe Jeffrey Epstein transporting a victim to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump, where he bragged to Trump that, quote, this is a good one. Now, I'm not saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these files that suggests that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles. What's crazy about all of this is just that This is a big cover-up. Fact of the matter is that you will be remembered as one of the worst attorney generals in history. An attorney general who has prioritized obstruction over justice, corruption over the law, fealty to the president over loyalty to the Constitution.
Well done. Well done. Once again, Crockett has proven that she's presidential material, by the way. I need to remind everyone, we went from open the files to there are no files to there may be some files and Trump's name is loosely mentioned, but not in a way that provides evidence of wrongdoing, to there's so many files that Donald Trump is listed thousands of times. You could easily call this the Trump files rather than the Epstein files based on that fact alone. Now, Bondi is confronted about the fact that the DOJ refused to give a hearing to victims. Here it is.
To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand. And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Please know for the record that every single survivor has raised their hand. Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before, Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General
Twice.
Bondi.
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time.
She can't do it. She can't give you a straight answer. She won't actually address the reality of evidence that's inside of that chamber, being victims, those survivors of this child sex trafficking ring. And as I have said from day one, you're not in charge of a child sex trafficking ring without having muscle, without having supporters, without having others who are co-conspirators with you. Epstein is a brand name. He had organized assistance. There's more. Here's Massey.
To my right is an email that was sent by the victims' lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there. The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking. Co-conspirators, fully redacted. Les Wexner is in this. Now your your deputy attorney general said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files, but he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking. These are the documents that we need that you're holding on to and over-redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there. And what happens when you go to the portal at the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction? Another redaction.
Massey is saying, by way of evidence, you have individuals who are high-ranking, working as attorneys in the Department of Justice who were implicated as co-conspirators with a child sex predator named Epstein. Initially, the name or names were redacted by the DOJ, but the names of victims still appeared in the release of the files by way of exposing the email requesting or mandating the survivor's redaction. Witness intimidation. Witness intimidation. Ted Lou, we'll call her out for lying on the oath. Here it is.
I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that.
I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness.
No one. No one interviewed that witness. No one interviewed many witnesses if they had information that would actually implicate somebody they are protecting. Okay? They have no plans under this administration to interview those witnesses. But I need to remind every state government and local government, you have something called concurrent jurisdiction. If a crime has happened in your local jurisdiction, you have concurrent jurisdiction to investigate, even if the statute of limitation has expired. You can still investigate the alleged crime. Just a reminder. Now, Pam Bondi, the way she responded generally to everything, here it is.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician.
Yeah, not a complicated question.
Well, I guess it is for you because you have a law degree and those are privileged. Do you even know who Chase Mulligan is? You're so obsessed with, you don't, do you?
I'm going to teach you the rules again. You're the...
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? Nothing about helping crime in her district. She's not even worth getting into the details. Excuse me, I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No, and I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer. You don't get to reclaim time when you don't.
Bigger than Watergate.
When I don't answer a question the way you want. Only 2 people voted against it, and you were one of them, hypocrite.
But we're going to move back to you.
I bet we are.
Yes, of course, because you're here to testify.
I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history. And this is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. This has been the most transparent presidency. 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
I find it interesting that she didn't even want to try, Congresswoman Crockett, to ask any questions because she certainly did not condemn her leader, Hakeem Jeffries, for taking money from Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted. And I will be brief to give you your time, Congressman. This is what she didn't want to talk about. Texas, from Cuba, convicted, homicide, arson, weapon offense.
Convicted. So what we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are sitting behind you that you refuse to even acknowledge they are here.
This is what happens when Karen gets a law degree, passes the bar, and becomes gainfully employed by Governor Ron DeSantis. And now Donald Trump. So let me pose something. The Hakeem Jeffries thing, he didn't accept the money. It was an entity that was hired to fundraise for the campaign. They did. They admitted to the error and reconciled the error. But Pam Bondi is proving she came with a bunch of artillery to dissuade individuals from making the main thing the main thing. That's all. So she wanted to make it about the particular member of Congress or somebody saying something on record that she disagreed with, or muddying the thing so damn much that, well, you forget that the victims are in the room. They have told you who did it. They have testified under oath. They have provided affidavits of sworn testimony, and they are ready and willing to engage in an interview hearing with the Department of Justice in order to implicate the same individuals that you are protecting. That is the main thing right there. Now, if there would have been a background check on Pam Bondi, we would have known that during her days as a waitress, she engaged in similar activity. Here it is.
Greetings.
Hi, what are your specials?
Well, you know, it's funny. Since my time as waitress, I have completed more orders than...
sorry, what are the specials?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question when I'm good and ready. Your theatrics are ridiculous. Okay, the market price fish might be up, but the Dow is down. Oh, you can't read the menu because of redactions? How about you apologize for coming in here with a party of 11?
Ma'am, could I get a refill on water?
Did you drink the water I already gave you?
Yeah, but I want...
So you admit that I already gave you water?
Yeah, but
I yield my time.
Ma'am.
Oh, so you want to complain that I gave you pickles when you said you didn't want pickles, but how about you apologize for a complicated order? I have yet to hear an apology from you, or you for that matter. What are the gluten-free options? How about you grow a pair? A turkey burger? This guy's got beef derangement syndrome over here. Give me a break.
Check, please.
Yeah, you do not tell me what to do. I will get you the check when I want to get you the check.
And could I please get that with Italian dressing?
Italian dressing? In America? Just say you love illegal invaders.
Now, obviously, that's parody, but damn, it was accurate, given the way she decided to perform rather than provide information to the United States Congress, which, by the way, is a constitutionally mandated endeavor. All right, dear brother, thoughts here.
This whole thing is just, it blows my mind. I mean, I feel like everybody's reeling from it a little bit. There's a little bit of a cathartic thing happening where it's nice to see some representatives standing up to this administration.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I hope something comes about. But like the parody that we just saw, first of all, the way that she got like the hair toss backwards, I think
Right.
is very funny, very subtle. And also the fact that she highlighted how Bondi immediately just went into all of the talking points we've all heard a million times, the Trump derangement syndrome. But I think when you throw out something like Trump derangement syndrome in relation to the guy who you work for being in these Trump files, tens of thousands, if not way more than that, I don't think it lands as well. Right. And so I think if anything good comes of this, I think hopefully for those who actually watch it, who want to be curious about what's going on here, maybe it will definitely cement the fact that this is potentially the biggest cover-up in American history, and it doesn't even seem close at this point. And I think the fact that she's still sitting there trying real hard, she's like a teenager who's been caught sneaking out at night, but wants to talk about how she just got an A in chemistry. So it's absolutely insane to watch. Hopefully something comes out of it, and hopefully she ends up actually serving some time personally.
Yeah, and ironically, if you do nothing to Trump, everybody owes Nixon an apology. Everybody.
Yep.
All right. We got more on the other side. Indisputable, stick and stay. Indisputable is still the fastest growing news show in America compared to CNN, Fox News, and 30 other networks. We tell the truth on Indisputable because the truth is indisputable. We go places that other news media outlets refused to go when there were human rights abuses happening at the Victorville prison. Guards and members of the community contacted us.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
It really doesn't take much to be a trusted voice. All it takes is to be fearless, report on matters, be an advocate. I called it the bullpen intentionally because it's a place of preparation. We present individuals who may have an opposing view, so we debate. Sometimes we interview individuals because their stories deserve to be heard. A survivor of significant police misconduct and his attorney. We covered this story earlier, and to remind you of the horror of one man being shot at damn near 100 times by the police. We take time on this show to showcase the temper tantrums of Karens in the wild. We do this not because we want to see people's emotional outbursts in public, but because these incidents are emblematic of a bigger societal issue taking place across the nation, and it has to be checked. My friend, my big homie, attorney at law, Benjamin Crump.
I just want to thank you, man. Educated, articulate brothers like yourself speak truth to power. It makes a great difference in changing the landscape in America. So
listen, no matter what you do, don't allow the politics of ideology to evaporate the soul that still exists inside of you. They don't stop, I don't stop. Racism won't stop, I won't stop. Systemic bias won't stop, I won't stop. People still need health care, so I won't stop. People still need criminal justice systems reform, so I won't stop. You won't stop either. All right, welcome back. Always good to be with you. Very thankful for the continued support, advocacy, and your leadership. All right, we got viewer comments. I'll read as many as I can. Higher Dollar Ernie says, I love Jasmine and her quizzes. Laughing my butt off. That's right. Her style was much more effective, obviously, at keeping the main thing the main thing. Bondi's job was to distract everybody from what she was there for, okay? She did a great job. Becky 13, that's right. Pam Bondi is definitely a DEI hire, but I thought we got rid of that. Yeah. And that's correct. Jan Morgan too says Pam Bondi was speaking to an audience of one. That's right. Donald Trump, proving her loyalty of the orange guy. All right. She's the main representative of Karen, says V Brown 7436. And DB Hawk 3, thank you for that. Says Prez Trumpy, Barbara Bondi, and the administration are all entitled wappies, and Elon jabronis. Yes, jabroni. It's been a while since I heard that one. Okay. A biker gang goes outside, encourages a man to apologize for using the N-word publicly. Here it is.
Hey, yo, come on, make it. Say sorry. They're gonna say sorry. You a gangster now. You sure you a gangster? You made him say sorry. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah.
He apologized for using the N-word. As I said, he was encouraged to do so by this particular biker organization. Put it up full mask. This is an interesting story because you don't see it much at all. And if somebody wasn't recording and someone told you this happened, you may not believe it. You may have doubted this happened. So this particular group of men, they heard someone using the N-word in a public space. And they decided, as the man left that public space, to go and have a conversation with him and encourage him, with the pat on the back, obviously, to come back into the facility. They walked in unison with their hands around the man in unity to say, I apologize for utilizing the N-word. I think it was a great encouraging opportunity for people to see that and for the man to have a great example of how much love is actually in the world when he decides to express levels of hate. All right, nobody was injured in the making of that segment. All right, dear brother, thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned no one was injured because I think that could have gone several ways. I think if I saw a biker gang headed directly toward me for any reason, my first instinct would be to be a little bit scared. The fact that they were doing it for justice, I think, is very beautiful. And I think it's something that all of us can learn from, especially right now. Like we have people who are roaming the streets, who are masked up, working on behalf of the government. I don't see any reason why citizens can't also unite and fight to do what's actually right.
There you go. Well said. One of those stories that you rarely see. Okay. Hell of a thing, an attorney gets brutalized by a court cop. Put up her picture full mask. You see this? She's a defense attorney. Beaten, according to the allegation, by a courthouse police officer. Defense lawyer Sudeen Riley says she was left bloody. She was left swollen after multiple police officers in Durham Regional slammed her head on a desk without provocation, ripped off her scarf without provocation, and dragged her to the basement cells of the Oshawa courthouse last month. Okay? This is in Durham. According to a statement issued by Riley's lawyer, Neha Chu, defense attorney Sudeen Riley finished a trial late January 23rd and was catching up on legal work in an interview room when uniformed officers, quote, challenged her presence, end quote, in that room. In her statement, the attorney said police who were working as security slammed Riley's head on the desk and put her knees on her back and neck and spoke to her with rage, disrespect, and contempt, end quote. She said officers then forcibly dragged Riley from the room in handcuffs and took her to the basement cells of the courthouse. Quote, her headscarf was ripped off. Her skirt was raised when she was handcuffed by officers, and her head was bleeding and her eyes swollen from being slammed into the desk. The attorney's statement reads, she committed no offense other than being a Black woman practicing law, being diligent about her commitment to the pursuit of justice, end quote. The attorney's statement does not indicate how many officers were involved in this incident. The Durham Regional Police Services, DRPS, has confirmed to CBC News that it has opened an investigation into the incident that took place shortly after 5 p.m. at the courthouse January 23rd. In its statement to CBC News, DRPS Sergeant Janelyn Dowdle said the service is working with court services to obtain and review all evidence of the incident. CBC News posed the question if DRPS would be passing the investigation to another police service, given the allegations were made against his own cop, okay? Quote, the allegations arising from this matter are being taken with the utmost seriousness, read the email. According to the Durham Regional Police Service, officers arrested and charged Riley for trespassing, even though she's an attorney, a licensed attorney with access to the court. In response to allegations, police said they had notified the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency and the Special Investigations Unit. However, Special Investigations has decided not to pursue an investigation into the matter. There's another statement by the department. I'm going to read it. Quote, for both the integrity of the investigation and to relieve any concerns, the officers involved have been reassigned to duties that do not include courthouse security. The statement reads, the BC Civil Liberties Association also raised broader concern about systemic anti-Black racism in policing in Ontario, accusing the police of denying systemic racism and delaying reform by resisting race-based data collection and relying heavily on police-led investigations. In its 2024 final report, the Ontario Human Rights Commission confirmed the existence of discriminatory policing practices in Toronto, citing the overrepresentation of the Black community in street checks and incidents involving the use of force. 2024, they were able to do the study, come to that conclusion. We talked about this yesterday on Indisputable, where we had the actual evidence of discriminatory practices, and we happened to have the testimony of the mayor who ordered it and the police chief who carried it out. Now, typically, you don't have the smoke and the gun, okay? In that particular situation, you had the smoke, which was your analytical evidence, and you had the gun, meaning the directive from the mayor and the chief. In this case, once again, you have the smoke. You have the expressed racism by way of administrative officials. Statistically, you have it, it's in front of you. What you don't have is a directive, but you don't need a directive to reverse engineer the data. The data is there. This woman was brutally assaulted and arrested, and all they had to do was validate identification if they assumed she was trespassing. And number three, who the hell trespasses inside of a courthouse? Okay. Dear brother, thoughts here?
A great point. Sometimes I think these issues, if you just think about them logically for 2 seconds, you can come to pretty solid conclusions. But I like that what stuck out for me here is the CBC News asking a really simple question, which is, why don't you have someone else investigate this, since it's literally y'all that are being accused? And I wish that would happen more often, because this is obviously a story that is emblematic of something that happens all the time. And if more people were to go, hey, why don't you step aside? Why don't you let a third party come in? Why don't you let someone who doesn't have that kind of bias, it could be a little bit more objective? And I love that classically their response was essentially, no, we're actually just taking it really seriously. You're going to have to take our word for it. And we're obviously the trustworthy ones, even though we're the ones also being accused.
Yeah, insane. We will keep you updated on that story. Obviously, the victim is traumatized in more ways than one. Very thankful for her continued pursuit of justice. We got more on the other side. Indisputable. Stick and stay.
I don't care if you're Christian. In fact, I will fight for you to have your religious liberty and practice your Christianity. I believe in that. I don't believe in Christianity, which means that you do not get to dictate the way I live my life based on your religion. I don't care what the Bible says. You have every right in the world. All those women who identify with your religion have every right in the world to not get an abortion, to not take birth control, but they do not have the right to dictate my life and what I decide to do with my body. I don't care about your goddamn religion. I'm so tired of having nonstop conversations about what the Bible says. You live your life in the way that you interpret the Bible. Again, I don't care, but you don't get to take the Bible and tell me, well, the Bible says this in this chapter in this verse. I don't care. I don't care. I don't believe in it. And I have the right, based on our Constitution, to not believe in it.
No part of Gaza has been left unscathed. Ain't a whole lot left. I don't know why they need any more bombs. Let us be clear. The United States provided $18 billion in military aid to Israel. Netanyahu, indiscriminate bombardment, have killed more than 50,000 civilians, 60% of whom are women, children, paramedics, and journalists. All of this is against basic human decency. You don't starve children with absolutely no humanitarian aid getting into Gaza. It is a war crime. It is illegal for the United States government to provide Israel with more offensive weapons. History will not forgive us.
We've been on our phones too much. I feel like we just need to touch grass or something.
I told you. I mean, you know what? Let's actually do it. Let's touch the grass. Whoa. Andrew Yang? It's not racist, right? It's him.
Yes, it is I, Andrew Yang, out here giving money away as usual.
Wait, but literally?
Do you use a phone? Noble Mobile will cut your wireless bill in half every month, and you get paid even more if you log off, look up, and touch grass.
Oh, I actually have some grass if you...
I don't think that's the kind of grass.
Not that kind of grass, unfortunately.
Whoa, wait, what the...
Whoa.
I guess that kind of grass works too. All grass works.
All grass and we get cash?
Wait, did you see that, babe?
Noble Mobile, make it rain, girl, make it rain, make it. That didn't rain so good, but now it's raining good.
Corruption, injustice, the system is rigged against you. Every day we're blasted by a flurry of terrible news from every angle, which can make it challenging to stay positive and know how to fight back. The Damage Report is your solution. I'm Johnny DeRola, and my daily morning show cuts through the noise and exposes the real damage being done to our country, the world, and how we can fight back against it. Corporate greed crushing workers? We'll name names. Politicians selling you out for their corporate overlords? We've got the receipts. Climate disaster, economic collapse, the rise of fascism. No spin, no establishment talking points, just the truth that you need to survive and resist. But it's not all doom and gloom. We'd love to have you join the Dragon Squad, our community of positive-minded activists who turn the day's news into positive action. With new episodes every weekday, listen to The Damage Report to get honest news, unflinching commentary, and daring coverage you won't find anywhere else. Listen to The Damage Report on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, because understanding the damage is the first step.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Rich and powerful men abusing, assaulting, and abandoning young women. These rich and powerful men donate to the politicians in Washington, D.C., play golf with the elites in Washington, D.C. They are foreign leaders who we don't want to offend. They interact with our intelligence agencies that we don't want to disobey. There is something rotten in Washington.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
All those congressmen you just saw there are on the record as protecting the child rapists who were clients of Epstein. They have not prosecuted a single person outside of Epstein and Maxwell.
Yep.
Not one.
Is Trump engaging in this cover-up because he's in the Epstein files?
I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff.
So as the government keeps telling us, yeah, there's other people. Yeah, they raped those girls. So what? We're gonna cover up for them. But why are you guys so mad?
A nation that chooses impunity for the rich and the powerful at the expense of our children is a nation that has lost its moral purpose. Are you on the side of the people? Are you on the side of America's children? Or are you on the side of the rich and powerful who've had their thumb on the scales and shafted Americans for decades?
The rest of the news media says you should not fight for positive change. If you do, you're not really a reporter or a journalist, because reporters and journalists don't care what happens. I don't agree. That's not written anywhere. That's not a law. It's just a rule that they invented so that reporters didn't actually challenge the people that are in power. Well, we don't agree with that. We think we should challenge the people in power, that actually makes you a better journalist, not a worse one. In a media landscape poisoned by corporate influence, only one show stands apart from the rest, The Young Turks. As the longest-running daily news show on the internet, The Young Turks is an impactful voice of unfiltered truth, one you can trust to deliver the daily news with authenticity and honesty. For nearly 2 decades, TYT has been breaking the mold of media. We're not here to echo the powerful or the elite. We're here to challenge them. Our mission is to give you accurate news, fight the establishment, and cover stories that mainstream media keeps you in the dark about, which matter to your everyday life. We've remained a leader in online news because of our established credibility with an engaged audience looking for alternative media that represents the real concerns of everyday Americans. Listen to The Young Turks, a news show that only answers to you on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Been on YouTube for 20 years.
The original political partner on YouTube, the Young Turks.
The Young Turks.
The Young Turks.
Godfather of independent media.
Favorite news platform by far. Oh, it's not even close.
The Young Turks. It's the largest online news show in the world.
I watched you guys before I had a channel at all.
And I watched Cenk, so Cenk's really the start of it all.
Big shout out to Cenk from Young Turks.
Cenk Uygur, founder of TYT, a man who probably needs no introduction.
Cenk, so great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you, David.
Fan you worked for a long time, man.
Anna Kasparian is one of the most followed and influential progressive women online.
I love Anna.
Your presence has been essential for me to really grow.
Do all of you know the Young Turks? This is why what Young Turks are doing is so important.
I've watched you for many years. You are insightful. I thank you for that.
I was going to introduce myself, but it sounds like you guys might know us.
Welcome back. Always good to be with you. Let me read a few of these comments. Very thankful for everyone. I agree with you. I think this is Who Stole the U, 91101. They are a biker club, not a gang. Careful with that label. You are absolutely correct. I will make sure that is fixed in the post of this particular segment. They are a biker club, and biker clubs do these things. Even read books to children in the city of Atlanta. We've partnered with them many times through my radio program previously. And V Brown 7436, they're so dumb they even bully lawyers. Wrong move. Yeah, that had to be the easiest confirmation to make, is an attorney inside of their own courthouse that they're assigned to. All right. Well, I got something for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish Karen would.
You want to call the police on them for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free! Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
I want my sweaters. I'm on my money! Right now! Because I'm yelling? Yes. Give me my f***ing sweater back. Ma'am, please. They're mine! I bought them! Ma'am, send police. They're mine! Send the police on the Give it to me. Right now, emergency. Right now. No, you didn't! You said no, 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 no. How is that going? Give me my sweater! I bought it! You're stealing it! Please don't. There's...
Karen, you're not you when you're hungry. Put her up full mask. Man, that's a lot of sound coming out of a little lady. I mean, my goodness, man. Over a sweater? Madam, come on. A sweater. Not sure what to say about this. I will go to our depth psychologist here. Elliott Morgan.
I was, when you were showing that clip, thinking about, man, it's like people have this sort of idea that they have a warrior in them and they have no idea when to actually activate it. And I don't think that was the time, because when you do it at the wrong time, you end up sounding like an absolute lunatic. So my guess is something with this Karen is going on at home, and whatever it is, I wish her the best of luck. And I wish her the best of luck with whatever this sweater situation is, because evidently it is the most important thing that she's ever experienced in her life.
That's right. Sam, put up the Karen again. Karen, listen, I appreciate the passion. Okay. Man, we need some of that passion for the movement. Okay. If you could just refocus that passion for the people who need that, we'll be doing all right. Okay. I know somebody loves you. All right. Double dose.
You want to call the police on them for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free! Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
What the did I do? I have you on camera. I have you on camera.
and you're going to be reported. Do you nasty ass? Why are you messing with me? Why are you messing with me? What are you talking about? Who wrote that? Wait, what? Yeah, okay. What are you talking about?
We actually have more video. So the Karen calls the neighbor the N-word and throws up on her lawn. So that's what took place that time. And then another video of her telling a black teen in the apartment complex to go and, well, sexually assault somebody. Here it is.
The dog own drugs.
The dog owns me? Don't wait for another person.
You will be exposed.
Excuse me?
You're going to be exposed for your racist ways.
Oh, like you are?
You're very racist.
You are very racist.
You said some derogatory, racist words today, and you are a sick individual. You are nasty.
You're nasty.
You're nothing but a bully. You are a bully, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed. You allow drugs.
This lady harasses me and my family every day. Every day. She's racist. She has used derogatory terms
like what?
Towards us.
Like what?
You called us the N-word several times.
What did I call you?
You called us the N-word. Oh, trespassing.
No,
trespassing.
I'm going to take this opportunity right now to apologize to my neighbor. Man, I love you, bro. You have never been this kind of nemesis to me. All right? Okay. Put it up for a mass. She said that's her neighbor. Imagine the randomness of encounters with somebody you routinely run into because they happen to live next to you. It's not as if you're intentionally in their space or you work with them. They come home next to your home every day. Wow. Okay. Hannah has been accused by her neighbors in a Kansas City housing complex of repeated harassment, according to the allegation. Fed up, one family decided to film the woman's outburst and also share door camera footage with the world via the site, quote, "I expose racist and pedos," end quote. According to the footage, Hannah typically engages in hateful verbal harassment while walking her dog, which she doesn't appear to clean up after. The neighbor claimed that Hannah harasses her family every single day. As of this writing, there's no indication a police report has been filed. For now, she's being judged by the Court of Public Opinion online. Outrage has exploded in the comment section on X, with more than 600 people weighing in on this behavior, sharing LinkedIn profile, etc. Quote, "This probably won't go over well at her place of employment," wrote one. As for the vomit, another mused, "The hate was literally spewing out of her. Amazing," end quote. Karen, I'm going to call you Karen because, Hannah is an earned name. So is Karen. Hannah was given to you, if this is your name, by your parent. Your parents believed in you when you were born. You earned it. So they gave this to you. You live up to the name. You live up to the name that you were given by those parents. At least you try to, if there's something to live up to. If there's nothing to live up to, you live beyond their name. You live beyond it to challenge yourself to become a better person. So I encourage you, all right? This is a moment for reflection. You're young enough to transform your ways and to become a decent person to human beings because you've been there before. You have the experience that others may not. So I encourage you to take that and take this as a moment of reflection and transform. This is what Indisputable does with the segment. We provide a mirror for reflection and a mirror for correction. All right, dear brother, thoughts?
I just want to draw attention to another victim of this scenario, which is her dog, because I was cracking up a little bit when she's spouting off this hatred and this racism, and her dog is just peeing right next to her and apparently seems unbothered by the entire thing, which might lead one to believe that this dog is very used to this kind of thing happening. So my heart goes out to the puppy, and hopefully, they can recover. But I think you said it very beautifully.
There you go. All right, we got more on the other side. Indisputable, stick and stay.
There's one reason why healthcare is so messed up in this country, and that's because of our money in politics situation. Because those industries that are deeply corrupt can just simply purchase all of Congress. And then the problem never gets fixed because of that bribery. Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's greed, and it's the greed of politicians, right? I mean, so everything they do is dictated by the donors and the money. I mean, I shouldn't say that, not everything. A lot of what they do is, and I do think that there are people who do things in spite of the fact that they have to raise money and often don't get that money and often don't win because they don't, but are in there fighting for ideals that they believe in. Bernie Sanders is certainly an example of someone like that.
I'm back to gaslighting. Did you and I talk about gaslighting on Old School?
Probably.
That boss gaslit all his female employees. People who manipulate others like that make you feel like you're the weirdo. Why won't you punch yourself in the face? What is wrong with you? And you're like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Why didn't I just punch myself in the face and poke my eye out? I'm 47 and I just figured it out like earlier this year.
You figured out somebody was doing it to you, or that you were
that it was that it would have been happening my whole life and I didn't realize it.
Right.
You want to know the 3 shows that I'm watching lately? Shogun, Anjin-san. Those guys are badasses. Then you go to the Duttons, Yellowstone. Now they don't always do it right, but they are badasses. But the 3rd show has the biggest badasses of all, the Young Turks. Live every weekend. Sick that I was so good. God damn it. Okay, live. Weekdays at 6 o'clock Eastern. That's what I meant. Anjin-san.
How do you know if you're a populist? Easy. Do you work for the donor class? You don't? Great, you're a populist. Okay, so the establishment takes money from the donors and serves the donors. Mainstream media takes money from advertisers, and they are giant corporations themselves, and they work for themselves, and they work for the powerful. If you care about the average person, and you want the average person to have better health care, better wages, a better life, and you hate corruption, congrats, you're a populist.
All right, Amazon Prime members, here's how you can subscribe for free on Twitch. Start by linking your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and then click that little subscribe or resubscribe button below the stream on Twitch. Scroll down and select the subscribe free with Prime button, and then you're finished. Close out immediately and share your little subscription alert with the chat. Send a cute message along with it, and bathe in the sweet, twitchy, Bezos-funded love. Hashtag Bezos Bucks.
Welcome back. Always good to be with every single one of you. Let me read some of these comments. Yeah, Thomas. The first Karen is the future Pam Bondi sees when she looks at a crystal ball. The Midwest Dragon. So you're not going to pick up the poop. Nasty and disrespectful. Yeah, we noticed that too. Nightmare 316 dog. Shut up, Karen. I'm trying to poop. All right. Yeah. Okay. This is one of those stories where Indisputable would like more information. I was alerted to this story. There's a black teen girl being brutally arrested by cops outside of a school. Here it is.
Hey! Whoa! Oh my God! Whoa!
Give me a badge number. Give me a badge number. Go ahead and get it to me.
Okay. We do have more video. What you are seeing is a 14-year-old child being arrested outside of a school by a police officer. The children in the background, obviously her peers. Okay. It continues. Here it is.
Hey! Whoa! Oh my God! Whoa!
Give me a badge number. Give me a badge number. Go ahead and get it to me.
Put up the cop full mask. The 14-year-old, we're going to call her Kay, all right, was violently arrested, according to the narrative, by Deputy Jay Hardy. Jay Hardy, you see the name badge right there. Her mom spoke out online. So on Friday, January 23rd, 2026, my daughter was at her school basketball game where she was physically assaulted by Deputy Jay Hardy, badge number 149. This is with the parish's sheriff's office. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't fussing or causing any kind of problem. She was simply waiting on her ride to go home when the game was over. Deputy Jay Hardy approached her and told her she could not stand in front of the school gym and to move off of school grounds. Mind you, my daughter is 14 years old. 14. A minor. Like, where did you want her to go? She told him her mom was pulling up. When she refused to leave, he physically pulled her by her hair and threw her to the ground and used excessive force on a minor. My daughter is traumatized. She's hurt. She's embarrassed. She did not want to go back to school. My daughter is an honor roll student. She's not confrontational. She didn't cause harm or was a threat to anyone. How can this happen from just waiting on a ride? I thought school was supposed to be a safe place. I need answers now. Your baby is just waiting for a ride. Obviously, the school is the safest space. Now, we have more information, but I wanted to just pause for a moment to let people know this happens a lot. This happens a lot. Where school resource officers or the local PD, they will enforce these liability rules because there's no administrator present. And they've been told, hey, if no administrator is here, you make sure all the children are not, make sure no children on the property, something like that. Rather than just waiting with the child or trying to help the child find a remedy who's a minor to be safe, because you're there to protect and serve. You're still a police officer. Okay? No crime is being committed. There is no forced trespass. Why? Because they're students. They are allowed on the premises. Okay? There's no forced trespass. Meaning, in order for a cop to trespass you, somebody from that building would have had to personally say, you cannot come back here. And if you attempt to make entry back, then you're trespassed. And the rules are even different for minors because they typically don't have mens rea to form criminal intent when they mistakenly trespass. So even in that case, the law is flexible. Okay? The police department put out a statement defending the deputy's action. Here it is. Upon learning of this incident, TPSO leadership immediately began an administrative review, meaning they looked at themselves. After the juvenile's family filed a formal complaint on Monday morning, an internal affairs investigation was also launched. Those efforts determined the following facts. During the sporting event, there had been multiple altercations. Following the game, as the crowd was leaving the gym, several threatening statements were heard being yelled between groups. Because of the tense environment, TPSO deputies who were on site to assist with crowd control were asked to move the crowd off the property. As deputies were moving the crowd toward the edge of the parking lot, while the majority of the attendees followed the directions being provided, one juvenile remained standing on the sidewalk waiting for her ride. Deputies asked the juvenile multiple times to continue walking off the property with the rest of the crowd, but the juvenile refused to do so. Dumbasses. Dumbass cops. I mean it. If there's an altercation of other students, there's a group, altercation. Your job is to protect. You told them, take the altercation down the street. The girl that don't want to be involved in the altercation, she says, I'm going to stay right here at the school. I'm going to stay right here on this sidewalk in public view by the police. I'm going to stay right here. I'm not with that crowd, don't know that crowd. I'm not involved in an altercation. I'm by myself waiting on my mama. And instead of understanding that, you sent the child where you admit the conflict is at. Dumbasses. You put the child in a worse situation than just letting her mother come and pick her up. How many times, Mr. Officer, have you saw somebody with an unfortunate situation on the side of the road, car broke down, and you say, we're going to wait here until either A, you can get somebody to come and help you, or B, we're going to get a tow truck out here to tow the car. You wait on both of them. You'll wait on a tow truck. You'll wait on somebody to remedy a broke down car, but you won't wait on a 14-year-old black girl. You admit everything that the mother said. When a deputy attempted to escort the juvenile by reaching for her arm, that's called unwanted physical contact. The juvenile pulled away. You're damn right. She wasn't under arrest. A second attempt was made. A second attempt at unwanted physical contact. At which point the juvenile swung her arm toward the deputy's head while simultaneously kneeing the deputy in the groin. Highly doubt it. This caused both the deputy and the juvenile to lose their balance. Your deputy's having trouble with a 14-year-old girl that was not under arrest, resulting in the juvenile's hair becoming entangled in the deputy's body-worn camera. Oh, that's how that happened. The conclusion. The investigation concluded that the deputy's actions were an appropriate response to the continued physical resistance encountered during the incident. However, all three deputies involved in the incident were found to have violated department policy related to the use of body-worn cameras and received disciplinary action for those violations. Quote, I understand how some, upon initially viewing only a segment of the encounter, had some concerns. I did as well. However, this outcome was determined by objectively considering the totality of the incident, which had nothing to do with that child. In the spirit of transparency and accountability, we want the public to understand how these decisions are reached, said Sheriff Gerald Sticker. Sheriff, if you have a 14-year-old daughter who's at an after-school event and the police have told you there's a conflict between multiple individuals, there are groups, they have conflict with each other, there were altercations during that day. Do you tell your baby girl, walk with the group that has been involved in altercation away from the protection of the school, a lit facility, and the police? You tell her to walk away and to walk down the street where the altercation is. Which one do you tell her to do? All right. Elliott, thoughts here?
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to do two things. One is put myself in the position of the police officers to figure out exactly what their thought process is. And I can't do it because it doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand what they were thinking. I don't understand from the beginning to the end. And I want to highlight as well, like when I try to put myself in the mind of this teenager, I do remember being 14 years old. And I think it's worth highlighting that in addition to there being a potential crime going on here, and in addition to it being a potential assault, there's also just the humiliation factor and the fact that this is going to be something she carries for the rest of her life and might impact her for years to come. And I think that like psychological impact is something that often gets forgotten in these situations. She didn't deserve that. She doesn't need to carry this for the rest of her life, but now she has to because of whatever these police officers were thinking.
That's right. Just completely outside of the realm of why. Like what reason would you have to do that to a 14-year-old? And you already know there's an active conflict. Our instinct would be to protect that 14-year-old rather than to put her in more danger. All right, we'll bring you updates as they come. We got more on the other side. Indisputable, stick and stay. Indisputable is still the fastest growing news show in America compared to CNN, Fox News, and 30 other networks. We tell the truth on Indisputable because the truth is indisputable. We go places that other news media outlets refuse to go. When there were human rights abuses happening at the Victorville prison, guards and members of the community contacted us.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
It really doesn't take much to be a trusted voice. All it takes is to be fearless, report on matters, be an advocate. I called it the bullpen intentionally because it's a place of preparation. We present individuals who may have an opposing view, so we debate. Sometimes we interview individuals because their stories deserve to be heard. A survivor of significant police misconduct and his attorney. We covered this story earlier and to remind you of the horror of one man being shot at damn near 100 times by the police. We take time on this show to showcase the temper tantrums of Karens in the wild. We do this not because we want to see people's emotional outbursts in public, but because these incidents are emblematic of a bigger societal issue taking place across the nation, and it has to be checked.
My friend, my big homie, attorney at law, Benjamin Crump.
I just want to thank you, man. Educated, articulate brothers like yourself speak truth to power. It makes a great difference in changing the landscape in America. So
listen, no matter what you do, don't allow the politics of ideology to evaporate the soul that still exists inside of you. They don't stop, I don't stop. Racism won't stop, I won't stop. Systemic bias won't stop, I won't stop. People still need health care, so I won't stop. People still need criminal justice systems reform, so I won't stop. You won't stop either. All right, welcome back. Always good to be with you. Okay, let me read a few comments. TB is a lady. I think I got that right. And the officer attempted to drag her towards the crowd. That's right. That's right, exactly. See, it's almost as if the sheriff and the other cops who responded, it's like, wait a minute, every single one of y'all, and I assume, as with most police departments, mostly men, none of you all thought to protect a baby girl? Really? I guarantee you, if it was a white, blonde-haired 14-year-old girl, you would have thought twice about telling her to leave and go down the street where it's unsafe. I guarantee you that. Factually active. The parents have to help the child, and now the child has to live with that memory and the new no trust against law enforcement. Your policy is broken, and that's how it starts. You are so right. This child probably, one, had no adverse feeling about law enforcement because no personal experience had come to her. Two, it was a great opportunity for a cop to show her the human side of law enforcement and that law enforcement can actually be a tool of good when done correctly, properly, and in the spirit of service. That was a missed opportunity for not only all the cops, but also the sheriff who decided to back them. All right. Okay. A man fatally shot his innocent neighbor because he said he thought his neighbor was a terrorist. Put it up full mass. This is such a sad story. In Milwaukee, Dominic Nosacek murdered his 50-year-old neighbor, Angelo Nelson. He killed Mr. Nelson with an AK-47 because he believed Mr. Nelson was a terrorist and returned home to do his taxes before turning himself in. According to a criminal complaint reviewed by Law and Crime, 31-year-old Dominic Nosacek walked into an office building that housed a branch of the Department of Homeland Security at 11:25 a.m. This was on the 2nd of February, and told a security guard, quote, "I just killed a militia," end quote. "I shot him in the head," end quote. The guard allegedly made a Nosacek walk through a metal detector and set him in a chair before calling 911 to report the supposed murder. Nosacek reportedly told the guard that he used an AK-47 to kill the man and that the weapon was still in his apartment. Nosacek also said that after murdering the victim, he went home and did his taxes per the complaint. A second security guard at the building reportedly told police that Nosacek called the victim a, quote, terrorist, end quote. Police arrived at the killer's apartment and found the body of 50-year-old Angelo Nelson in the hallway. The complaint read, Nelson reportedly died from a single gunshot wound to the head. The killer told interrogators that his neighbors were, quote, banging around too much, end quote, and harassing him, according to the complaint. He allegedly admitted that he had a history of psychosis and depression, and that he believed his neighbors were militiamen who were, quote, blackmailing him. Nosacek said he killed Nelson when he saw Nelson standing in the hallway because he believed he was, quote, waiting for him. Nosacek allegedly said he intended to kill Nelson because he was militia, but admitted that he did not see the man holding a weapon. The killer was arrested and charged with first-degree intentional homicide and bail jumping in connection to a previous charge not answered for. So sad. The family and friends held a vigil Wednesday for Mr. Nelson, remembering him as someone who brought energy and light to every room. Every room that he walked in, he exuberated energy and light. He was everybody's uncle. He was everybody's big brother. And he was just the life of the party, said Cachet Rideout Nelson's cousin. It is so sad. You may have a convergence of multiple things happening. You may have a failed mental health system, but also elements of paranoia, bigotry, and hate. You may have all of these things working in concert with each other. Because of our human nature, we like things to be very simple cause and effect because we can categorize it. We like to name things. We like to then give definition to them. We like to call a sunset rather than anything else. We would prefer to call this, just racism and nothing else, because it's simple, but it may be so much more. And if we want to fix these problems and make sure there's not another Mr. Nelson who's simply at his apartment complex waiting for his family or outside enjoying the fresh air, he's not brutally killed. You have to fix all of the issues that could possibly lead to someone ever doing this. Hatred and bigotry going unchecked creates a sort of psychosis anyway, but you are responsible for your behavior, period. All right, dear brother, thoughts here.
Yeah, he is responsible for his behavior. And I think that, yeah, as you were saying, it's like there's all these different currents that kind of coalesce here. And it does force you to kind of resist this really simple binary thinking. And I think that the mental health aspect of this, which only amplifies the racism and bigotry, which then only amplifies the mental health psychosis, becomes this like cyclical loop. So I think when stories like this happen, which are just so it's shot through with mental health issues, like the fact that this person has this AK-47, where they aimed the gun. I think it should call into question what our current healthcare system is, because no one knows what's going on in the minds of their neighbors. And if we had a system in place where these kinds of mental health issues could be treated regularly, then I think maybe that might help a little bit. But obviously the broader problems of racism and bigotry are something that I think is still infecting the soul of this nation. Right. And so we need to do everything we can policy-wise to keep that stuff from sort of coalescing into situations like this.
That's right. Very well said. All right. Thoughts and prayers with the family. Okay. A school teacher, decided to say, Harriet Tubman isn't really a, hero. Your assignment is wrong, or your answer is wrong for the assignment. Here it is.
Okay, y'all. Tell me if I'm overreacting. So my daughter just got home from school and she took a social studies test today, and she got one of the answers wrong on her social studies test. The question is, name a hero or key figure from a long time ago that helped connect people in a civilization by making society better. She put Harriet Tubman for fighting against slavery. The teacher marked it wrong and said that Harriet Tubman did not fit the definition of a hero. For context, we live in a red state. So now I'm thinking, should I send an email so that I can get in writing why Harriet Tubman does not fit the definition of a hero? Or should I let it go because we live in a red state? And I expect this from these kind of people. And so I'm not sure, because I make it a point to teach my daughter Black history at home.
Put her up for a mask. Man, we're not letting a damn thing go. That's baby girl, okay? She is getting a miseducation at that institution. The question was, name a hero or key figure. Name a hero or key figure. Name a hero or key figure. She named something so much more. A woman by the name of Harriet Tubman, who not only led individuals to their physical freedom, but was a great orator to teach them of mental or psychological freedom as well. She was brilliant as a strategist, more than just somebody walking up saying, do you want to be free? That was not her context at all. She was one of the brightest individuals that people met according to their own testimony and witness understanding of her. Madam, you did right. And if you bring indisputable some more information about who the teacher is, the name of the institution, we'll do the rest. All right? Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Dear brother, thoughts here?
I would be very curious to see what the other answers to that question were by the rest
that
of
were
the
accepted.
class. And what the teacher defines as a hero exactly. Because my guess is that their idea of a hero is this sort of lone wolf or cowboy stereotypical idea or archetype that I think has been really ingrained in a lot of America. One of the many heroic aspects of Harriet Tubman is that she operated in a very subversive manner. And I think that that's not something that's considered when people are considering who is and who isn't a hero. Obviously, there's racism going on here as well, but we have such a stagnant, old version of what it means to be a hero in this country that it's now coming out in grading people's papers. And if that's your teacher, who I think was probably also miseducated in what a hero is, then you're going to have a lot of issues going forward with this person. I don't think they should potentially be a teacher. Maybe find a different career path.
Yeah, or come to a great point of enlightenment about what their job actually is. Dear brother, always fascinating to have you on the program. Tell people how they can follow you, check out your great work.
You can check out my videos over at Rebel HQ or check out my Substack at substack.com/Elliott Morgan. But thank you for having me, Dr. Richey.
Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure. All right, remember, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.